You're listening to Snippets from the Summit with your host, Scott McKay.
All right, gentlemen, this is your main man, Scott McKay, coming at you again with another Snippet from the Summit as part of the Mountaintop podcast from X&Y Communications. Did you see the Super Bowl on Sunday? Well, of course you did. Unlike probably everybody else, I'm not going to talk to you about the halftime presentation, but rather I'm going to talk about the game itself. Go figure. During the course of Super Bowl 60, there was one particular play that was amazing. Seattle running back Kenneth Walker III was handed off the ball, and he just stood there. I mean, it seemed like an eternity in football terms, although when it was played back in slow motion, it was really only about a second or a second and a half. But after standing still, he proceeded to burst down the field, finding a hole and getting the first down for the Seahawks. Gentlemen, this was the most breathtaking example I've ever seen in sports of a player letting the game come to him. Even the commentators were enthusiastic about it, saying that could have been the most patient running play in NFL history. So why is this significant? Well, the first reason why it's significant is because by not rushing into things and stopping and evaluating for a quick second, Kenneth Walker III got his team the first down. He reached his goal. He made a good play. Now, how in the world does this have anything to do with you and your success with women? Well, as I've talked about before, not a whole lot of guys know how to stop, wait, and let the game come to them when it comes to meeting and interacting with women. In fact, there's still old, bad pickup artist advice out there that would recommend to guys like you to go and talk to a woman within 3 seconds of seeing her, because if you don't, you're just going to psych yourself out. See the moment, act on the moment, don't wait. And, for super shy guys, maybe that could be good advice. But the more evolved advice is to stop, evaluate, even if for just a few split seconds, and let the game come to you. Now, here's why, in a very nuanced way, letting the game come to you is extra important, especially nowadays. A lot of guys are really afraid they're going to be bothering women or get rejected by women because, there's this gap between men and women nowadays where we're suspect of each other, and that's only been exacerbated over the past few years. Well, here's the deal. When you meet a woman, she may be bracing herself. She may tighten up and look at you like you're going to be one of those other guys who's just hitting on her, who's just wanting to get in her pants, wanting to use her, bringing something transactional to the conversation, not something that's going to lead to a real honest connection. So if a woman has indeed seen her fair share of guys who just want something and seem very transactional, she's going to indeed physically brace herself. You'll see the tension in her. You'll see it on her face that, oh, you know what? This is going to be just another guy doing the same thing I'm used to. But if you stop, pause, and let the game come to you, you can give her space. You can leave room, kind of like you'd leave room at the top of a Starbucks coffee for the cream. You can leave room for her to kind of brace because that's her natural impulse, and then see you relax from that brace before you even enter into talking to her. And what should you do when you start talking to her? Well, obviously, the best pickup line ever, as we talked about a few weeks ago, is introducing yourself, saying your name, and getting hers. But as the conversation progresses from there, you bring the warm levity that I talk about all the time around here, rather than simply some pickup line, trying to be slick, trying to get her number immediately, moving too quickly. And when you bring the warmth and when you bring the levity, instead of being so serious and taking yourself so seriously, you're going to find she stops bracing herself altogether and is more open to talking to a guy who really just wants to have a real human conversation that actually feels safe and fun to her. Gentlemen, this is the big reason why, like an NFL running back or a point guard in the NBA who's a real pro, you stop and you let the game come to you. Every single time, okay? And like Kenneth Walker III figured out, probably a long time before this play even took place, sometimes that wait can only be a blessed second or two, and it pays off big time. Want to talk about this or anything else? Scott at mountaintoppodcast.com. SFTS106.com. And remember, guys, you can always call or text me to talk about whatever you want at area code 210-260-6400. I don't give my phone number out enough on this show. It's time I start. So go ahead and call or text me if something's on your mind, and let's talk it through. Let's workshop it. Be good out there.
As always, visit mountaintoppodcast.com for more.